Good morning, how are you doing? Happy Monday morning, everybody. Welcome, thanks for joining. Let us start off as always with some mobilization and then we'll sit for the end of the session. We'll do some box breathing, I think, at the end of the session, which is quite nice. Box breathing is where we breathe in the shape of a box or a square. 4 seconds in, 4 seconds hold, 4 seconds out, 4 seconds pause at the bottom. It's a great one for creating that focused attention but also relaxation at the same time. But as always, let's just start off with some mobilization, some movement, creating space for the breath. So finding your comfortable seated position. Why has that done that? The camera must have gone a bit lower. The chair's in the way there. Just going to move the chair out of the way. There we go. Taking your feet shoulder width apart. Balance. Evenly balanced on each foot. And then just going for a little bit of knocking. So rotating from the hips and the waist. Keeping that spine long. Remember, you're doing no work with the upper body. I'm not using my arms to rotate. I'm using my pelvis, I'm using my hips and the waist and then my connection to the ground. That upper body is just following through. So really relax into the shoulders. Relax into the upper back between the shoulder blades. And keep that spine long. Remember that the rib cage, the back of the rib cage is attached to the spine. So this is creating some nice movement through the rib cage, the diaphragm. All of the muscles, the intercostal muscles in the rib cage. Face is relaxed, relaxing the face, relaxing the brow, relaxing into the eye sockets. And just soft, normal, natural breathing in and out through the nose. You don't have to think about how you are breathing. Just let that breath be natural. Now the arm that swings across the front, we're just going to make it into a light fist and you're just going to tap. Think of the top of the lungs or just on the pec muscles. Again, I'm not actually activating, I'm not using my arms to hit, I'm using that rotation through the hips and the waist. So here we're just getting a little bit of vibration into the top of the lungs. In traditional Chinese medicine, this point here is one of the lung points. So you may feel you want to take a bit of a cleansing and clearing breath and let go. Just if you feel you need it. If you don't feel you need that, you don't have to do it. But it's quite nice, particularly when we're activating these points here, taking that fuller breath in and maybe holding for a couple of seconds at the top and then letting go. And then we'll go back to belly and back. And you'll notice you need less energy, less drive from the center as we start going back down to belly and back. And then you can slow it down into water waves. And as you're slowing the movement down, notice that the breath may slow down a little bit. Give your breath time for recovery, but just keep it soft and light in and out through the nose. Keep lifting from the crown, so I'm not looking down on the ground, I'm not rounding my back. I want to think of that central rotational axis. We want to get that movement through the spine. Lift tall from the crown of the head. And take a rest. The flexion, we've done rotation there. The flexion and extension of the spine. I'm enjoying this one at the minute where we lead with the chin. So a little bit of softness in the knee, a little bit of bend in the hips, bend in the knee. Lead with the chin. And we get that roll down, roll up. So we get that nice movement through the spine. I'm not using my shoulders, so I'm not doing a shoulder roll here. My shoulders, my arms are just hanging. I'm not doing this type of movement with the shoulders. I'm just leading with the chin and the chest. It's all spine. Think of spine. So I'm going forwards, roll, tuck the pelvis under. Nice one for a Monday morning. Get everything moving, get your energy flowing, blood flowing. And again, just breathing easy in and out through the nose. Do 2 more. Smooth, easy movements. And then rest. I find that a nice one, a nice lengthening in the back of the body as well, in the legs, so it gets the hamstrings lengthened and encourage that length in the hamstrings and the calves as well. Another one I'm really enjoying at the minute is the hand on the head. So placing the hand on the crown. When we're doing that, that helps you keep it lifted. You know what I mean? Keep that spine long. And then when we take the ear to the shoulder, watch the chin position, that the chin doesn't go all over the place. So like keep that chin. So you're literally just taking ear to the shoulder. I'm not pulling my head down like that. I'm just gently guiding. So we want to encourage length here rather than a tight, a stretch, a forced stretch. So encouraging length and then taking the rib cage and then just bringing that rib cage across. And then what I'm really liking, I'm finding a big difference, particularly if I'm on the computer a lot of the time during the day, doing online stuff, is the eye. So actually my eye is itching a little bit now. Just having a little look in the opposite direction. If you've got corners of the room, it's quite nice because you've got something to focus on. So I'm just looking in the direction I'm taking the rib cage. And again, remembering it's not forcing anything. It's just a gentle spinal flexion, lateral side to side flexion. And great for that vagus nerve, stimulating the vagus nerve. So just breathing easy. And then bringing your head to balance back on top of the spine. Another sort of like way of remembering you or reminding you to keep tall, lifting tall through the spine. Swap sides, hand just resting gently on the head. Taking your ear to shoulder. encouraging that length down the side of the neck, not forcing. Get ear to shoulder first, there's no rush. Then you can bring your hand on your ribs. Bring your ribs with you. Keep the shoulders down and relaxed. And then eyes in the direction that you're taking the ribs. Breathing. Just breathing into it. Follow a few more breaths, just a few more moments. And then slowly bring your head back on top of the spine. Let your arms go. And then that leads really nicely into dog wags the tail, because it's exactly what you've just done. When we're doing dog wags the tail, again, keep the crown pointing towards the sky. I'm not dropping my head forwards. I'm not doing head rolls. Keep the crown of the head towards the sky, and we're just letting that ear go towards the shoulder. But that's a consequence of moving here from the hips and the waist again, moving from the center. Get that movement through the spine, that ripple through the spine. Remember the importance of all of this movement, all of this work on the spine and the rib cage to help us breathe with more ease, to create that space with the breath. But also remember, when we're walking, when we're moving forwards, every time we step, there's that little bit of shift to the side, but we need to then come back to the center. So to keep us heading forwards and looking balanced and straight and fluid as we're moving, as we're walking and we're running, we need this lateral flexion, we need the rotation, and we need that flexion and extension. When anything gets tight, that's when walking, and when you see that sort of like stickiness or feel that stickiness when you're moving. We want to feel that flow of movement when you walk forwards or backwards or to the side. And then slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. And have a little shake out, just gentle shake. We're going to do just one Qigong flow movement actually, which leads into the box breathing, because it helps us to lengthen out the breath, and we add that little bit of a pause or lull or suspension or stop in the breath. And that's tree sways in the wind. So if we just have another little bit of a shake, a little bit more. Again, you can do a cleansing and clearing breath as we're doing a little bit of a shake. And let go. It's always good to actually breathe, take a nice big full breath in and then let that breath go every so often. I know we want to focus on breathing the right volume of air, but every so often we need that sort of like sigh, that physiological sigh, if anybody follows Andrew Huberman, because otherwise we then just become so tight in the rib cage. So that's why it's nice when we're doing stuff like this, when you're doing a spinal cord or anything like that, you take that nice full breath, but then you let the breath settle, come back to balance with the breath. Tree sways in the wind, so we've got palms facing up. And then we rotate to one side. Here we're doing a gentle breath in. We're pointing to the crown, so we're keeping that crown tall. As you come to the center, that little hold of the breath, and then breath out. And then that little lull, that pause at the bottom of the breath. Rotate, breathing in Hold the breath, breathing out. Now the idea is to keep the movement flowing, so there's no stopping the movement. There's a little pause at the breath at the bottom there as we rotate. Then you breathe in. Still moving, just a gentle hold of the breath at the top. Breathe out. Keep the movement flowing. Pause, breathe in. Hold and breathe out. Pause, breathing in. And now you don't necessarily need to follow me, but just go with the pause at the bottom of the breath. Breathing in and then that hold at the top of the breath. So you still want to keep that breath calm. You don't want to feel as if you're running out of air or struggling. But you're just lengthening the breath, stretching the breath. Just do one more to each side. And then we'll just do pulling down the sky. Let's do that 3 times and then moving into bamboo in the wind. Just for a minute. Bamboo in the wind, you're just bringing your feet together and then just closing your eyes and letting your body rock and sway. And then taking a full breath in through the nose, calm breath in, opening your eyes, stepping out, gentle brush down. And then just when you're ready, just come in, taking a seat. You can do this standing if you want to continue standing, but if you want to take a seat on a chair, on the floor, whatever is comfortable for you, we will just do a little bit of box breathing. So we've sort of like led into it there with the tree sways in the wind. Sorry, I just adjusting the camera there. the tree sways in the wind because we're adding that little hold at the top, a little pause at the bottom. And it's the same with the box breathing. We'll breathe in the shape of a box. As I said, we'll do 4 seconds breathing in, 4 seconds hold, 4 seconds breathing out, 4 seconds pause at the bottom. I do use different words. I use hold at the top and pause at the bottom because there is a difference. If we've got air in the lungs, we are holding air in the lungs. If we're breathing out, natural breath out, then we're pausing at the bottom of the breath. So there is a subtle difference. With both, don't feel as if you have to tighten up. Hold is like suspend the breath at the top. Have a nice little rest at the bottom of the breath. So let's just get ourselves set up. So you get, if you're seated on the chair, feet in contact with the ground, supported on the surface that you're sitting. So if you're on the floor, supported on the floor. If you're on a chair, just supported on the chair that you're sitting. And then relaxing the face, bringing that sense of relaxation to the face can make a big difference. If the face is relaxed, it tells the brain that you're safe, everything's good, everything's calm, everything's fine. So relaxing into the brow, relaxing into the eye sockets around the eyes, softening, softening, softening into the brow, the eyes. Eyes closed if you want to close your eyes, eyes open if you want to keep your eyes open. And then softening into cheekbones and jaw. Having the tip of the tongue just resting lightly on the roof of the mouth. So the teeth are apart, the space between the teeth, but the lips just lightly touching. And just tuning in to start off with the natural rhythm of your breath. So not trying to breathe in any particular way, just noticing how you are breathing at this moment in time. Notice the temperature of the air, slightly cooler air into the face as you're breathing in all that space behind the nose, that nasal cavity where you're taking in all that cool air. And then we're going to take a slightly fuller breath in, so just a gentle breath in. Fill up a little bit more, let that breath go. And then we're going to start breathing in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Pause, 2, 3, 4. Breath in. Hold. Out. Pause. 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 In. Hold. out, pause, in, hold, 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 out, pause. We'll do one more round. Breath in, hold, let that breath go, breath out, pause, and then just letting your breath settle back to its natural rhythm. Just give yourself a moment, let that breath settle back to a comfortable natural rhythm. And then taking a calm, full breath in, expanding the ribs, expanding the chest, opening your eyes if you have your eyes closed, relaxing the shoulders, letting go, having a little stretch again, little twist if you need that twist. So we spent a little bit longer there just doing that seated breath work. It's always quite nice just to let yourself settle into the rhythm. It always might feel a little bit challenging at the beginning because we're deliberately then taking conscious control of the breath. Once you settle into that rhythm, it should flow quite naturally. If that did feel a little bit challenging, and if you felt as if you were trying to catch up, or if you were getting a little bit too much air hunger, then you can always make that box a little bit smaller. 4-4 is sort of like a good one for general. But if that was feeling a little bit too challenging, you can go 3-3-3-3-3, or even 2-2-2-2. Don't make it too quick. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, make the box a little bit bigger, 5-5-5-5, or even 6-6-6-6. So remember, the idea is that you are creating focused attention, but at the same time being relaxed. So if we're in a stressful situation, we're able to respond to that stressful situation in in a managed way rather than just react to a stressful situation. It's a great practice to do. Excellent. Thanks you for that. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that set you up for your Monday morning and indeed your week ahead. And I'll see you on Wednesday, where we will be doing a little bit more of the functional movement. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye.